How Solskjaer used Pogba and Bruno Fernandes to destroy Bielsa. For cheap good quality football jerseys, go over to www.jerseyfifa.com, a link will be left in the description, and use code ATLANTISFOOTBALL for 5% off. So in this video I will analyse why United were able to break through Leeds' defensive system, the role of Pogba and Bruno Fernandes, whilst also breaking down each United goal scored, and giving XG figures for each side. But before I carry on with the analysis, let me tell you about the OneFootball app, because this is where I go to keep up to date with the latest circulating transfer rumours, and I find the match section on the app incredibly useful as well, particularly with all top 5 European leagues starting again by next week. If you like this channel, you'll definitely love this app, so when you go to subscribe to the channel after this video, which would be very much appreciated, make sure you also click the link in the description to get the OneFootball app as well. So going into the game, both sides set up as I would have expected, with United's 4-2-3-1 becoming a 2-4-3-1 in possession, and Leeds looking to press them in a man-to-man orientated 4-1-4-1, with Robin Koch, Klich and Rodrigo tight and following McTominay, Fred and Fernandes in central midfield. Leeds didn't press aggressively, however, they were fairly passive, allowing Lindelof and Maguire to carry the ball forward out of the defensive third, and this allowed Lindelof to become United's main ball progressor from deep, which I will come on to in a bit. Leeds' rather passive pressing did allow United to progress the ball through their press, with an example here when Lindelof carried the ball past Bamford, Fernandes made a movement deep, dragging Dallas with him, and he was able to flick the ball from Lindelof's pass forward into McTominay's path, who had made a blindside run forward off Klich, who had pushed up onto him in the United half, and therefore this vacated the space in the centre of the pitch, which is a significant weakness of the Leeds defensive system, which constantly allowed United to progress the ball through the centre of the pitch and into the final third. But the most interesting piece of tactical play was Solskjaer's use of Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. By the end of the game, Pogba had 4 assists and Fernandes had a hat-trick. Pogba also topped the table in this game for expected assist rate, recording 0.72, and key passes with 5, 2 ahead of Fernandes in second with 3. Pogba was not being used in the midfield double pivot, instead he was being deployed as a wide playmaker from the left side, who would sit higher up the pitch and drift into the space in behind the Leeds midfield. With Bielsa using a strict man-to-man pressing system, the Leeds central midfield were getting dragged high and wide by McTominay and Fred, who were constantly moving and stretching the Leeds midfield. This in turn created more space between the lines for Pogba to drift into, and this is where he received the ball after McTominay's forward pass found him, and Pogba was able to play a fantastic first time through ball for the opening goal. If we look closer at the first goal, we can see that Greenwood's decision to drift wider onto that left side forces Struijk to push over and opens up the space between the two centre backs, and Fernandes recognises this and times his run perfectly before finishing past the keeper. Both Fernandes' movement in behind and Pogba's ability to see and then play through balls almost instinctively were the key features in the United attack throughout the match. Solskjaer deserves credit for his use of the midfield in this game. Against a strict man-to-man pressing system, like the 4-1-4-1 that Leeds were using, if your central midfielders remain in central positions, this allows the Leeds central midfielders to also take up central positions and congest the middle of the pitch. If, as Solskjaer did, you instruct the central midfielders in a double pivot to stretch out wider and push up higher up the pitch, you can create space in front of the midfield by dragging them backwards, or create space between the lines, as the space between Koch and Klich expands, and this is where Fernandes and Pogba can take advantage. I was disappointed with Leeds when they didn't have possession. You expect Leeds to be aggressive and push high up the pitch, but Bielsa's side sat off pretty passively, with their midfield still man-to-man pressing, which doesn't suit a pressing style that isn't constantly putting pressure on the man with the ball, as this simply allowed Lindelof to take advantage with his long passing ability, and for the fourth goal where he simply played a perfect curling through ball for Fernandes, who then volleyed it into the roof of the net to seal his hat-trick. Leeds barely offered a threat going forward, which can be seen as they recorded an XG of just 0.57, and the goal they did score was a spectacular shot from outside the box by Luke Ayling. This was largely because United did a fantastic job when pressing Leeds, and Solskjaer made a very small positional change, which worked to shut down Leeds' biggest offensive weapon. But before I tell you about that, make sure you remember to subscribe to the channel after this video if you enjoy the content, and go to the description of this video and check out some of my other Manchester United videos, including my analysis of CAMAVINGA, Trippier and United's new signing Raphael Varane, as well as my analysis of Brentford versus Arsenal, which should be out soon. It was United's well-coordinated defensive system which was the main reason behind Leeds' lack of chance creating, as Solskjaer instructed McTominay and Fred to drop fairly deep when United dropped into their middle third defensive shape in a 4-2-3-1, and this was done to keep the midfield and defensive lines vertically compact and stop space opening up for Klich and Rodrigo between the lines, which Fred and especially McTominay did well throughout the game. I thought McTominay was very impressive. He showed his defensive ability with his positional play, being aware of how to cut off passing lanes into players behind, and when the opportunity to put in a tackle was there, McTominay was excellent at dispossessing Leeds, but it was his forward passing that caught my eye. We saw this for the first goal, as he makes an interception, and rather than looking for a safe pass to retain possession, which he did far too often last season, he makes a quick forward pass into Pogba between the lines, and without this vision and assertiveness from McTominay, United wouldn't have created this opportunity. United would use a pass across the back line by Leeds as a trigger to press aggressively in the Leeds defensive third, with the 4-2-3-1 moving to a 4-2-4 as United looked to man-to-man press aggressively and either force Leeds long or win the ball back in the final third, both of which they were successful at doing. In order to stop Leeds funneling their attacks through their most creative player Rafinha, Solskjaer instructed Shaw to sit further away from Maguire and closer to Rafinha on the flank, and this meant that if the Brazilian did receive the ball, Shaw was there instantly to close him down. In terms of which goal I was most impressed with, there are a few contenders. The first goal showcases McTominay's positional play and his quick thinking forward pass, which allows Pogba and Fernandes to combine almost telepathically. The second goal comes from a counter-attack from a turnover, with Pogba receiving the ball inside his own half and playing a world-class pass into the path of Greenwood, whose finish across the keeper is picture perfect. The third United goal came from this time Fred playing a forward pass into Pogba in a more advanced position, allowing him to create for Fernandes. The fourth goal came from Leeds' over-passive defending, but Lindelof's ball and Fernandes' run were perfectly weighted and timed, and the fifth goal was once again from a McTominay forward pass and a Pogba run off Greenwood's deeper movement, leading him to create the chance for Fred to make it 5. I think the first goal was probably the one I enjoyed most because it encompassed McTominay from a defensive standpoint and also when in possession, and if he can develop his ability to see and then play these incisive passes more often, then he can definitely mould into the sort of player that Michael Carrick was. This goal also showcased the benefit of Pogba playing higher up the pitch and Greenwood being used as a centre forward, as it was Pogba's advanced positioning and Greenwood's movement which created the opportunity for Fernandes to make the penetrating run, which he did throughout the game, and right now Fernandes is definitely the best goal scoring central attacking midfielder in the Premier League. Overall, I thought United were excellent. Fernandes and Pogba were the two best players on the pitch, but McTominay and Lindelof also had excellent performances, with both Maguire and Lindelof very positionally good against Bamford, whether he was making runs in behind them or from crosses into the box. Greenwood put forth a great case for him being Solskjaer's centre forward, as his positional rotation and interplay outside of the box was what progressed the ball into shooting positions and opened up space for Fernandes to make runs into, whereas if Cavani had been playing there, his mostly central movement would have not dragged the centre backs apart as Greenwood's spins into the channel did for Fernandes. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that video, remember to subscribe to the channel, give the video a like and click the bell for notifications so you get notified when my videos come out. Go to the description to check out some of my other videos as well. Put your thoughts in the comments section on Manchester United's performance. Check out my Arsenal-Brentford video which should be out soon, and also follow me on Instagram and Twitter for more content as well.